Hello and welcome to Breakfast All Day. Today, somebody is going to talk about Peninsula, or as some people are calling it, Train to Busan Presents Peninsula.
Also known as Train to Busan 2, I don't know.
Right. I didn't have a chance to see it because I was in the pool. But Alonso and Christy saw it, so they'll tell you about it.
And we talked about the original Train to Busan on our Patreon several months back. That was one of the films you guys.
It's fucking amazing.
It is fucking amazing, which is why this one's a bummer. But Alonso, go ahead.
Yeah, sadly. This is a follow-up to the original 2016 Train to Busan. It is set 4 years later, 4 years after the zombie outbreak that occurs in that movie, and focuses on originally, before it gets much deeper into it, focuses on two brothers-in-law, a military guy who tried to get his sister and his family out of the peninsula on a boat, where unfortunately there was another zombie outbreak, and the sister and the sister's child died, leaving the two brothers-in-law living and not happy with each other. They are in Hong Kong, where Korean refugees are not treated well because everybody knows that that's where the disease started. A disease that started in a country and now they're being demonized for it. Why does that sound familiar? Anyway, so of course this one turns out to be kind of a heist movie because a crime kingpin sends the two of them back into Korea to get a truckload of money that never made it out. It should be a quick in and out, easy job, but of course these things never are. We wind up getting embroiled in a surrogate family who uses remote control toys to keep the zombies at bay, an underground fighting ring that involves throwing people into the ring with zombies, and maintaining a whole sort of weird criminal underworld within the zombie ravaged Korea, and a ticking clock of getting back to the docks on time with the truck to get the boat to get out of the thing with the helicopter. And this is not nearly as tight as Train to Busan was, which was super direct in terms of it was all a story, and it was all very, you knew exactly where you were and where everybody else was and what was happening. And this gets very disparate, and you've got like multiple characters who are in multiple places and then having to find each other again, and new characters who weren't all that interesting. And it loses the thread for me.
Yeah, more is less here, and they expand it to the outside world, and they have all these various threads, but it just feels really scattered. And part of what was so great, what was so fucking amazing, as Matt put it, about Train to Busan, was that they use that space so effectively, and that sense of claustrophobia that you had on the train, that there really truly is nowhere to hide. You've got to be crafty, and you've got to be experimental and figure out how to survive. When they open to the whole outside world, that tension is automatically gone, and it really becomes just like a World War Z ripoff. You have
it's bodies, a very standard zombie
nighttime zombies on top of zombies. There's one thing that happens many times that's really, really cool the first time, which is when they, what I'm going to say, I think, when they drive a truck or a car or something into just a marauding horde of zombies. And with the sound design, it's like, thump, 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 thump. And it's like you hear bodies hitting the car over and over again. And the first time you see it, and the bodies go flying. And the first time you see it, it's like, dude, that was gnarly. And then you see it like 10 more times. Yeah. And it becomes so predictable and so numbing that you just know if there's a car or a truck driving down a street at night, that sure enough, a bunch of zombies are going to come flinging themselves at the car, and the car is going to go plowing through them. And you're going to hear thump, 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 thump over and over.
There's more drifting in this movie than there is in Tokyo Drift. Like, it's so much like pulling up the handbrake and skidding around, which again, the first couple times, pretty cool. Yeah. And then it's like, what else you got, movie? Come on.
Yeah. And it feels long and repetitive. And the thing with the cash is totally a MacGuffin, which would be fine ordinarily in a movie that's better written. This is also written and directed by Young Sang-ho, who did the first film. And I wonder what happened there. Did he not feel like he wanted to explore this world again? As you say, it's not really a sequel. It's more of like the Train to Busan universe. And maybe he felt like he had more stories to tell, but I don't know what he's really trying to say with this one. The one thing that's most interesting to me about this is the two girls, the teenage daughter and her little sister, and they're badass and they're funny. Yeah. And they've got a great kind of feisty, irreverent energy to them. And they're like these tomboyish, cool girl survivors. And I like them and I like their story. I enjoy watching them figure out different situations. And I would like a movie that focused more on them. But as this is, it's just they are one piece of many, many pieces.
Yeah. I'm wondering if the director felt like, because the first one was so sort of lean and mean and it was such a hit globally, that now he felt like he had to expand the canvas somehow. But I think that's, if you're going to do this again, either find some, like, do the whole thing on the boat, make the boat the new train, like, or have a better script in terms of who these characters are, why they're going to this place. If the cash is going to be a MacGuffin, then take us somewhere interesting once they're back in the country 4 years later. But instead it just felt like this amalgamation of like zombie and post-apocalyptic, dystopia and whatever else kind of thrown together. And it drags. It's just it's not special. The first one is special.
Yeah. The first one is very, very cool. Yeah. All right. So, and this is almost 2 hours long and it really feels like it. A zombie movie should be just an incessant onslaught and it should be tense. And this is just like, oh my God, more dead bodies. Great.
How much longer?
Yes. Anyways, I'm saying 5.2 because actually, I'm going to say 5. That's too high. I'm going to say 5.
All right, what did I say?
You said 6.
I think I'm going to go 5. We're a 5 because the more we talk about this, the more I realize that it was. I went into this movie with obviously with high hopes because the first one is great, and by the end of it, it doesn't work.
Okay, so our number is a 5. It is out there for your streaming consumption if you feel so inclined. If you love the first one, you love the first one, you're curious about it.
Is it streaming? I was looking today. I couldn't find it.
Oh,
or
maybe
is it
it's
theatrical?
Not. I think it's theatrical.
Oh, dear.
Right.
Well, I mean, it is from, I think, the same distributor that's putting out Cutthroat City. So,
let's see.
No, it is in U.S. theaters, in fact. Yes. So good luck with that. We do not endorse, especially not for this movie. Yeah. Anyway, but if you have a drive-in, you can see it at the drive-in, whatever. Anyway,
it's a movie about a biohazard.
Exactly.
Of a rampant biohazard epidemic.
It's the new 4D. Thank you for watching. Like this video, subscribe rather to our YouTube channel. Follow us at BeFastAllDay on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/BeFastAllDay. We're kicking off this week our, speaking of horror, our recaps of HBO's Lovecraft Country. And also, speaking of horror, Matt and I will be talking about Hallmark Channel's Wedding Every Weekend, which broke a lot of new ground for the network, even though it is ultimately a Hallmark Channel movie. Anyway, more on that for our subscribers. If you're not one, become one. And until next time, bye.